For an update on potential returns to WWE and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Revealing who came up with his Powerhouse nickname, Will Hobbs said this on the Chill with Ice podcast. The Powerhouse name came from our owner and CEO, Tony Khan. He's a big Hacksaw Butch Reed fan, and he looked at me and was like, Powerhouse. And I was like, I dig it, it stuck. So when I'm walking through the airport or walking around and I'm either hearing Hobbs or Powerhouse. Going over what it was like to have cameras in her house for the Hulu reality show with her husband, Bianca Belair told Casual Conversations. It was weird, I will admit that, and it's funny because you would think that I'm used to having cameras in my face, but that's when I'm at work, that's when I'm at Raw, and I'm at SmackDown, and I'm Bianca Belair, and that red light comes on, and I turn it on. At home, I'm ready to turn it off. In real life, I'm actually a shy person, and I'm more laid back and more reserved. My husband, Montez Ford, who I get at home 24/7, has wild and crazy energy. It's a contrast, we balance each other out. Recalling his experiences with painkillers back in the day, Kurt Angle said on the True Geordie podcast, yeah, I'm not proud of it, I'll tell you this. This is something that the doctors don't tell you. When I broke my neck the second time, the first time in WWE, I met a doctor and he introduced me to painkillers. He said, these things are the greatest things in the world, you're gonna love them. So I started taking one every 4 to 6 hours. After a while, your body builds a tolerance and one doesn't cut it. Then you take 2, then 2 leads to 4, 4 leads to 8. Before I knew it, I was taking 65 extra strength Vicodin a day. This was within a 6-month period of time. I mean, we're talking almost enough to kill a horse. It was that bad. My focus was not wrestling anymore. My focus was, when am I going to get the drug next? I became a druggie. I became an addict right away. 65 extra strength Vicodin a day. The reason why I was taking them was not because of the pain anymore. It was because I was going through withdrawal. So if I took 15 painkillers, a few hours later, they would wear off and I'd start having withdrawal again. So I was taking more all day, more and more all day long, every single day. Asked about his involvement in an upcoming match for AEW, Paul Wight told TMZ, like a Dragon Gaiden street fight. Yeah, don't ask me what that involves. I just know it sounds like there'll be a lot of carnage and a lot of bodies flying everywhere, so just another day at the office. I'm excited, to be honest with you. I'm nervous. I think that's part of the draw or the magic of doing what we do is that anticipation, that adrenaline rush of performing in front of a crowd and wanting to put on a good show, an exciting show, and that's a hard fix to get anywhere else. You have to adjust your expectations on what you're doing as things mature. Because when you're younger, it's kind of about you. They're building you. Well, I'm built. So now it's my chance to give back to other talent and help younger talent establish themselves and hopefully become household names at some point. Speaking about his experiences wrestling Jon Moxley in AEW, Orange Cassidy told Under the Ring, it's not fun to wrestle Jon Moxley. When you look at that giant monster, it hurts every single time. So I'm not really looking forward to it, the feeling I'm going to have after the match, but I have a lot to prove to myself in this match. The first time that Jon Moxley and I wrestled, he did beat me, and it didn't sit right with me for a very, very long time. So now I have the opportunity to get my, I don't know, it's just weird. There's like a missing feeling I have holding the championship. I don't think I'm going to be able to feel complete until I beat Jon Moxley. Despite there being a double NXT taping last night, former AEW star Jade Cargill was not there, as this was said regarding her whereabouts. Jade Cargill is at the WWE Performance Center today, PWInsider.com has learned. Cargill was not at last night's NXT taping. Touching on his future in WWE, US champion Logan Paul said on his podcast, "I want to keep going harder. That's my thing and potentially my problem. I want to go to the top rope the next time and want to jump off the top rope. 2 luchadors, one on the front, one on the back. It's something that I can do in the WWE because while I don't have the experience of my peers, I'd like to go to the PC and start training, maybe make some more appearances on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown so I can get that respect and maybe get that experience. Even though I am late to the game, I'm extremely late. The one thing I can do and am excited to do is anything risky. I'm ballsy. I don't give a damn. I will send it. I love entertainment. I will close my eyes and just go. That can be risky and I have to be reeled in sometimes by the producers and the people at WWE, but I'm trying to do some Mick Foley type off the top of the cage onto a table from 30 feet high. Jeff Hardy type swanton bomb. That's what I want to do, and I want to do it with the endeavor or pursuit of getting more belts. Do I become tag team champion with Dominic Mysterio? Could be fun. 2 heels, 2 people the audience loves to hate. I like Dom. Explaining how stars have a difficult time after feuding with Roman Reigns, former WWE star Stevie Richards told the SmackDown Raw review show, Stone Cold Steve Austin was probably the most over character outside of The Rock during that time, and probably in the history of the company. So, if Austin jobs to Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, are you saying that Austin's is over as he would be if he won? That's the general consensus you're talking about, a blanket one-to-one analogy to LA Knight or Cody or anybody else. You're getting to the point, they all fall short, and here's your consolation prize. So you're less over after that. Like, I wouldn't want an angle with Roman Reigns right now because it would kill my career. Yesterday, it was reported that a former AEW star is now with WWE, with it said that Jay Malachi, who has wrestled for AEW Dark, CZW, West Coast Pro Wrestling, and other promotions, is at the WWE Performance Center today, PWInsider.com has learned. Malachi, 19, was a part of the most recent WWE PC tryouts and is believed to have been signed by the company to an NXT deal. Noting that she is dealing with health problems, ECW legend Francine wrote on X, "Good morning, seeing my urologist in the morning, praying whatever is going on with my kidneys is an easy fix." As Bryan Danielson announced he would no longer be appearing at WrestleCade weekend on the 25th, this was said regarding the situation. BodySlam.net sources have confirmed to us that Danielson's current broken orbital bone injury was cited as the reason for Danielson withdrawing from the event, and while AEW were working on a replacement, that did not come to pass. The issue was originally brought up 2 weeks ago as Danielson was supposedly unable to fly, but is now being advertised for Dynamite and Collision the week of WrestleCade. Mentioning an interesting fact regarding Randy Orton's possible return to WWE, Ringside News wrote, "There is a prevailing belief that Randy Orton will join forces with Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes at the upcoming Survivor Series Premium Live event in Chicago. Together, they will confront Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough in the men's War Games match. It was previously reported that the 5th babyface team member of War Games will be announced before Survivor Series. In the aftermath of Monday's Raw, where McIntyre aligned himself with Judgment Day, betraying Jey Uso and forming an alliance with Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes hinted at the impending return of Randy Orton. The esteemed WWE veteran has been out of action since May of the previous year and underwent fusion back surgery late last year. According to Cage Match, the next episode of Raw, scheduled for November 20th, will unfold in the same arena where Orton had his last match in 2022. On the May 20th, 2022 episode of WWE SmackDown, RK Bro lost the Raw Tag Team titles to the Usos in a title unification match. The belts have been the undisputed tag team titles ever since. That event went down at the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the same venue for Raw next week. Moreover, it marks exactly 18 months since Randy Orton's last appearance on WWE television. These synchronicities add an element of intrigue to the prospect of Orton's comeback, generating anticipation among the WWE universe. For an update on CM Punk potentially making a WWE comeback, it was noted that Ringside News exclusively reported that WWE's mindset about CM Punk's return isn't likely to change due to fans chanting for him at events. There were CM Punk chants heard during WWE Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. CM Punk chants also popped up during Shinsuke Nakamura versus Akira Tozawa's match on Raw. That being said, WWE realizes that fans are chanting for CM Punk. That doesn't mean WWE is any closer to inking a new deal with CM Punk. After the November 13th episode of WWE Raw, many fans wondered if the company was setting Shinsuke Nakamura up to face Punk. After all, Nakamura used Punk's GTS finisher, and that sparked a wave of interest within the fan base. Ringside News then doubled down to confirm that there are no present talks about CM Punk's return to the company. Ringside News also heard back from a source who used very interesting way to describe how little WWE is interested in having CM Punk back. A tenured source within the company told us that CM Punk's impact on AEW is seen in the same light as what Vince Russo did to WCW decades ago. There is no interest in CM Punk. The damage he did to AEW was as bad as what Vince Russo did to WCW. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.